anytime you see the expression written backwards, 6 minus x is backwards, you want to rewrite that negative x plus 6, and then we need to factor. When it's negative x, you want to factor out a negative 1. So this is really negative 1 times x minus 6. On the bottom, 10x and 60 have 10 in common. 10x divided by 10 is x. Negative 60 divided by 10 is negative 6. The x minus 6 cancels, and our answer is negative 1/10. On number 4, we need to factor the top, factor the bottom, and see what cancels. So x squared plus x minus 30. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 30 and add up to 1. That would be negative 5 and 6. So the top factors into x minus 5, x plus 6. On the bottom, 5x squared and negative 125 have 5 in common. And then, do you remember how to factor x squared minus 25? That's the difference of two squares. It factors into x plus 5, x minus 5. And the problem on the test is pretty similar to this. So after you factor out that common factor, you should end up with a difference of two squares. The square root of x squared is x, the square root of 25 is 5, x plus 5, x minus 5. Then what cancels? X minus 5 cancels, so our answer is x plus 6 over 5 times x plus 5. On number 8, we have to factor everything. We also have to remember how to do a division problem where we keep the first fraction the same, change the sign to multiply, flip the second fraction. So this is going to be changed to multiply, and we will end up having to flip that fraction. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is factor this one. Now, good news, on the test, that one will not be quite so difficult to factor. It will be just a plain, like 1x squared. When you do have a number in front, you have to multiply the 2 times the negative 15. So I am looking for two numbers that multiply to give me negative 30 and add up to negative 7. That would be 3 and negative 10. When there's that number in front of the x squared, we have to turn it into 4 terms. So 2x squared, you split this middle number into plus 3x minus 10x, and then you can factor by grouping. My first group has x in common. My second group has negative 5 in common. So the factored version of this top part is x minus 5 2x plus 3. And yes, I know I changed the t's to x's. That's okay. On the bottom, we have x plus 9. And I'm going to change the sign to multiply. When I factor the top part of this next one, I am going to put the factored answer on the bottom. And when I factor, oh, what other color can I use? I'll use pink, I guess. When I factor the bottom part of this one, I'm going to put the factored form on the top because we have to switch that fraction. So the orange one, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me 25 and add up to negative 5. Sorry, negative 10. I just told you the answer. Negative 5 and negative 5. So that factors into x minus 5, x minus 5. So that one ended up going there. The pink one, we need two numbers that multiply to give us negative 45 and add up to 4. 9 and negative 5. So x minus 5, x plus 9. That one went on the top. Now we have a multiplication problem where anything on the top that matches something on the bottom will cancel. So this x minus 5 matches an x minus 5. This other x minus 5 matches an x minus 5. And x plus 9 matches x plus 9. The only thing that's left here is 2x plus 3. Now, number 8 on the test will be easier to factor. So that blue part where we had to factor with the 2 in front, that will be just a plain x. You won't have to do the crazy factor. You'll just have to do the blanks, the parentheses, and be done with it. On number 10, the first thing I did was change the minus to a plus a negative, which is an allowed step. I also spaced it out. We need to factor to see what we have. So x squared minus 4 factors into x plus 2, x minus 2. X squared minus 2x minus 8. You're looking for two numbers that multiply to give you negative 8 and add up to negative 2. That would be negative 4 and 2. So that one is x plus 2, x minus 4. When you're adding and subtracting fractions, you have to have common denominators. This is the matchy-matchy game. So both of them have x plus 2. The one on the left has x minus 2, so the one on the right needs x minus 2. This would be a great place to use one of your hints. Is this the one where I multiply the top and the bottom, or is this the one where I multiply just the tops? If you don't remember, when you're finding common denominators, you have to multiply top and bottom. Okay, now they both have x plus 2. They both have x minus 2. This one has x minus 4, so the one on the left needs x minus 4. Now we have common denominators. The order that you write the common denominators does not matter. On the top, distribute 5x minus 20 and negative 8x plus 16. And then combine like terms on the top. 5x and negative 8x is negative 3x. Negative 20 and 16 is negative 4. That is our final answer. Number 12 on your review is way, way, way harder than this problem on the test. So here's a new number 12 that is more similar to the test. So if you're taking the time to watch this video, you just scored because you're going to see this problem completely worked out. So basically this is just a division problem. It's saying this top fraction divided by the bottom fraction. So this top fraction we're going to need to factor. I want to factor the top, so I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me 16 and add up to 8. That would be 4 and 4. So that first fraction, or the numerator of the first fraction is x plus 4, x plus 4. And we'll leave the negative 20x to the third untouched on the bottom. We're going to change the sign to multiply, and then what do we need to do with this bottom fraction? We need to flip it. So we'll have negative 2x on the top and x plus 4 on the bottom. The one on your review involves like several factoring steps. This one, like the one on your test, you really just have to factor that first numerator, and then you're done factoring. And then change the sign to multiply, flip the second fraction. Now, what cancels? X plus 4 cancels. What else cancels? Negative 2 and negative 20, we can simplify that. Think about the fraction negative 2 over 20. Negative 2 over negative 20. That simplifies to the fraction 1/10. Negative 2 divided by 2 is 1. Negative 20 divided by 2 is 10. Also, this x will cancel out one of these x's, leaving you with x squared on the bottom. So on the top, we just have x plus 4. On the bottom, we have 10x squared.